Hi, I'm the Dinos Kid, and I make heavy music. Today, I thought of showing off my top 10 favorite albums. Not artists, but I will do a video on that later. The first album is going to be a Swedish band from Helsingborg named Mörbultad and their album Brytpunkt. That album has. I found that album when I just strolling through, I think, Spotify recommendations or something like that. I found them in some weird, like, they just showed up. Kind of, it's kind of like finding your best friend. You don't know where, how, or where, but it happened, and I liked it. Brytpunkt was the album I got introduced to. Then I get introduced to more and more albums later on. But a song I would recommend from this album, from Brytpunkt, is Till Aska, and of course the main title track, Brytpunkt. Why I would recommend Till Aska is because, well, it has a sample from a documentary or thingy from SVT Play called Skånska Mord. It has samples from there, and I think it's great. I really enjoy it. All right, I enjoy it. Great samples. Next on our list is Wolf Brigade, Life, Knife, Death.
Non-fiction! Upside down! Crucifixion! Captain Ross! Imperialistic! Through the eyes!
I have gotten into more and more crust punk over the years. I have always been grading myself or throwing myself forward towards heavier punk styles. For example, hardcore, crust punk, and stuff like that. I've always been like that. Always heavy, heavy, heavy. That's all I really want. I want it heavy, heavy, and heavy. So Life, Knife, Death, or like Wolf Brigade in its general, I found by watching a video on how to make crust punk. I already made crust punk before I watched that video, but how to make crust punk by Pagefire. And I really enjoyed the sound. So that's where I needed to search up. What kind of band is this? Wolf Brigade, and from there it went. They have another album that I enjoy a lot also, with a song called Narcissistic Breed.
I say Godspeed! Godspeed, the age of greed! Narcissistic breed! Narcissistic breed!
But that's not this album. Life, Knife, Death has A Day in the Life of an Ars.
A day in the life, a day in the life of a life.
What else? Cyanide Messiah.
Suicide. Say goodbye. Cyanide. Cyanide Savage Messiah.
Nail Bomb. Can't forget that one. Nail Bomb. But I think you should check out. In my opinion, you should check out Nail Bomb or Cyanide Messiah. They have been my inspiration, and I never realized that when I made my cross-punk thingies, that I apparently took inspiration from them without even knowing that they existed for a while. But I got hooked on their sound apparently before they even existed, which was weird. But it's weird. It's weird. Things are weird sometimes. But I really now when I know that they exist and I know the band, I can see like I have a lot of the guitar sound and the riffs are very much inspired by Wolf Brigade. And like for example, on the album I'm making, now I'm talking a lot, but the album I'm making is kind of a hint to one of their songs with the riffing. So if you know Wolf Brigade, you will absolutely know what riff I'm talking about. Enough of me rambling. Next album. The next album is Dysphere, Live the Storm. They are apparently, I was searching how I found this band is I was basically trying to find crust-punk bands around Nyköping, around Sörmland. And apparently Dysphere is based in Nyköping, which was very fun for me because I've been living in that town for a lot of years. And it's awesome, like having crust-punk bands like that. And I also enjoy their sound, especially on Live the Storm. Get It Off, I think that's the title, or Get Off, or something like that. Get It Off, I don't know. And Deadweight, especially with the lines.
Your parents as well are in a vortex and equally fucked. That's the one way. Communication, a dead weight. Population, it's the one way. Communication.
And I like that line. So that's that for Dysphere. I was basically searching up, Nyköping band, you know, Nyköping bands. In my local town. Also, another band that I don't have on any lists today, but Victims apparently was based in Nyköping, or at least rehearsed in Nyköping, which I thought was cool. I thought it was cool to have local bands. Okay? I thought it was nice. It was cool. Dysphere is a great band, and I think you should absolutely check out Deadweight on their album Live the Storm. Okay, so a little special thing. We have now, you guys have heard genres such as hardcore and two bands in the crust-punk D-beat era. Now we're getting into a new genre. Murder folk, or bluegrass, or goth folk. Amigo the Devil, and the album Volume 1. I found this album out of, again, Pagefire making a video on murder folk because I was interested and intrigued. and I already liked bluegrass. So that's why I like the album. I like bluegrass also. Weird, I know, but I like bluegrass also. Especially Murderfolk. Murderfolk is the best thing. Song I should recommend or could recommend, will recommend even. Of course, the classic "Perfect Wife."
Oh, what a perfect wife, love of my life.
But also "Hell and You." I enjoyed that more. "Perfect Wife" I didn't listen to before until later, but I enjoyed "Hell and You" better.
Cause I'd rot in hell with you if you just asked me to. I love the shitty things we do together. Live with me in this sin forever.
Okay. Also, Murderfolk and bluegrass. The Dead South, "Good Company," and I would recommend "In Hella Being Good Company" is also good. Okay, now we are back into metal and tough guy persona. No, but in the 90s, there was a thing that was starting to be created here in Sweden called the Gothenburg sound and Gotham death metal, or melodic death metal, I should say. And this band is very popular among the triumph of that genre. In Flames and their album Foregone dropped 2 years ago, and I endure that album. I enjoy it a lot, and I really like it. Meet Your Maker.
Meet your maker, say something that makes sense. These are your last words, so make them worth the wait. Meet your maker, it's time to set things.
And End of Transmission, I think the song is. I don't really remember, but I think that's the song. Yeah, End the Transmission. That's a good song.
Choose your side, there are no winners. Hell is overcrowded and heaven's full of sin. We gotta end the transmission. Nothing makes sense and we're riding out green. We gotta end the transmission. Nothing makes sense and no one is listening.
You need to listen to Foregone Part 1 and Part 2. I also really enjoyed State of Slow Decay. Meet Your Maker, of course. Bleeding Out is also a very good song. So I would recommend, out of all these songs, I would recommend The Great Deceiver, actually, from the album. The Great Deceiver, 100%. The next album is a Swedish punk band and a early hardcore band, Asta Kask, and their album Handen på hjärtat, which means hand on the heart. That's a great album. I saved all the songs and stuff like that, and I have really enjoyed that album. There are a lot of good songs from that album. I really enjoyed Fredagsmys. It sounds very nice and sweet, but the text is gruesome and based on actual reality, which is how punk is basically. It's about abuse in relationships, in very like domestic violence things. Also, världens räddaste land, the world's God, translation. I can't translate that. So I would recommend världens räddaste land.
Följ med till ett land, världens räddaste land. Paranoians land, världens räddaste land.
Låt dem inte komma in.
Låt mig få ge dig fritt, ge dig ett evigt liv. Låt mig få komma in.
And fredagsmys.
Framför fasaden där är allting bra. Rånar och spelar så bra. Men bakom kulissen styr en annan lag. Med hot, sparkar och slag.
The next album is Electric Callboy and the album Techno. I started listening to them when they released Hypa Hypa. And that single, because Toman Music just like, hey, have you ever some battle between two bands? There was Electric Callboy and another band, and they were shooting, I think, in Toman's area studio, I think, or something like that. But I heard at least Toman. I was scrolling Instagram, and I saw that Toman had posted like something about Electric Callboy and another band. Electric Callboy wasn't named Electric Callboy back then. They were named another thing. Scrap that, okay? Electric Callboy, okay? Future. But I really enjoyed that band because what's a mixture between techno and electronic metal and electronic music. So, I would recommend techno. And songs I would recommend from that album is basically the most popular ones. Pump It.
I wanna feel the burn, I'm gonna stop now, Johnny Boone.
We Got the Moves.
We got the moves, we got the moves. When everybody's flying, yesterday we drank too much, let's do it again. We got to grow, we got to grow. So everybody put your hands straight up. Tonight is a
Mind Reader and Arrow of Love. And of course, also Techno Train.
we're riding on the techno train. We're riding out of time.
So I would recommend those songs. Okay? Does that work? It's work. Yes. Nice. Next album I really, really like. Especially from one song. One song that is unique. And I really enjoy the riffing. That is Cancer Bats. And their album Beers, Mayors, Scraps, and Bones. A remastered version and a 10-year anniversary edition. And songs I would recommend from that album is Sleep This Away.
Sleep this away. One of these days. Sleep this away.
Black Metal Bicycle.
This life, I want nothing. Expect nothing. Never let down. In this life, I want nothing but the truth.
Snake Mountain.
Around you is wasted. Your actions betray. You pick down your passions for fun.
And my absolute favorite from this album, Trust No One. I mean, the riffage in that song is so nice. And also like the pinch harmonics and stuff like that. The guitarist has technique of a god. And I enjoy that. To my standards, the guitarist is a beast, okay? We have now gotten to the end, and you probably has if you have gotten this far, thank you a lot. But we have gotten to the final album of the list, and it's Comeback Kid and the album Heavy Steps. I have heard about Comeback Kid before. I've heard like one song before. Then a past romance showed me Heavy Steps by Comeback Kid. And she was like, hey, I think this is your kind of music. So I just like put it out there for you kind of thing. And I listened to the whole album. She didn't like show me the whole album. She showed me the song Heavy Steps, I think. No, No Easy Way Out. She showed me that song.
No easy way out. Yeah, there's nothing to protect you now. There's no easy way out. Yeah, there's nothing worth protecting you anyway.
And I was like, yeah, this is absolutely my music, and I want to make this music. So therefore, that's kind of the route where I wanted to like screw my electronic drum and bass wannabe phase and actually go back to what I want to do, which is metal and punk and just raw power. So Heavy Steps by Comeback Kid is the final album and my absolute favorite, if I might be honest. If I'm gonna be honest. Songs I would recommend from this album is No Easy Way Out, Heavy Steps. Dead on the Fence. And Crossed.
It's like it's really happening. Crossed over and destined into the void.
And now on to our honorable mentions. Is all of these.
We know you are venomous, all of us. Torture us, making it jealous of us. Venomous. We know you are venomous, all of us. Torture us, making it jealous of us. Venomous, venomous.
All right. I hope you enjoyed my nervous in front of the camera. I've been here for a few years or a few months and stuff like that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if there any album you have as a viewer that you think is your absolute favorite, comment it down below. And also give this a like if you like my nervous aura and energy. Tap the subscribe button, smash it so hard just smash that subscribe button. Like the video, share it to your grandmother. I don't know if she's a cool grandma, but that's all for me, and I've really enjoyed. If you have gotten this far, you are truly amazing. Bye.